Hey folks, Prepper Princess. So today we're going to talk about some different foods and how long they're going to store and sort of stocking up for what may be coming, when, this fall. Let's just say this fall. Before I get started, I do want to thank all of my loyal subscribers for coming to my verbal rescue in the comment section of my most recent videos. It does seem like turning off the comments temporarily and then turning them back on and asking my subscribers to sort of police the comments has really kept the trolls at bay. And I really, really do appreciate that. So I do want to put that out there. Also, for prepping supplies, you can go to prepperprincess.com. And for more personalized videos, you can also visit my Patreon page. So today we're going to start with a few different things. There are 4 different ways of preserving food for long term. There's freezing, smoking, canning, and dehydrating. And I'll go ahead and go over a few of those things and how I do things. I personally do not can. I don't have anything against it. It just doesn't really suit me. So I do a lot of dehydrating and freezing. Those are my main choices for preservation of food. So I do want to open up the freezer here real quick. It's the whole kitchen's in a little bit of disarray because I was getting some stuff together to show you guys. So one of the things that I do in my freezer, first and foremost, is I have packets of like different drink mixes. So this is just sugar-free lemonade. And what I do is I take these old Gatorade bottles. You can see the yellow one in there. I take these old Gatorade bottles and I freeze them. Sometimes I will, once I'm ready to drink them, I will put them down into the refrigerator and I'll rotate them. Another thing is I keep ice bottles in my freezer. This was an old milk jug and my mistake. It has bloated quite a bit. I guess I didn't leave enough room in the top, although there is some room, but I guess I didn't leave enough. Or any. I guess I didn't leave any, but it still does the job. It's ice, and that's what you need. I've got lots of ice in here. The reason for the ice is if there is ever a grid down, all of these, frozen lemonade and frozen drinks are going to keep the refrigerator going for longer. I can go for up to 5 days without having to use any of my solar generators. I don't buy Tupperware, and this is an old cookie tin that I just keep soup in. The freezing of so a lot of people think fresh fruits and vegetables. I do also buy vegetables and I freeze them or I buy them frozen, and that's a way that you can do it. This is mixed triple berry blend. When it comes to things like steak and bacon, what you want to do is put them into smaller portions and then put them in the bags, the vacuum sealed bags. And they're going to last you 6 months to a year. Sometimes you can do them for a year and a half. Just make sure you keep your eye on it and see, if it's still doing okay. Doesn't have any freezer burn, stuff like that. Another thing is, so with steak. Steak you can dehydrate and make into beef jerky, but because of the fat content in meat, it's not going to last that long. When you buy beef jerky at the store, there's a lot of preservatives in them that make them last a long time. But if you're making your own, you're really only looking at about 2 weeks. So that's kind of a tough one. Another thing is, if we do hit difficult times, we talk about food rationing at the store, but rationing at home is going to be even more important. It's better to eat a little now and extend it for a longer period of time rather than just gobbling it all up at once and then not having anything later. I think that it's something that I did as a teenager. Whenever my mom would go food shopping, I would immediately go into the bags and just eat as much as I could because I knew that for some reason in my brain, there wasn't going to be any more food, which was never the case. So that's something that you should think about. Also, when it comes to rationing, so where is it? It's 5 feet away. So when it comes to rationing, things with like cereal and Quaker Oats. So Quaker Oats Despite what people may think, these are not a forever food. They're going to last you about a year, maybe a year and a half if you're lucky. But make sure you read the serving sizes. So this one is a serving size of a half cup and it makes 30 servings. Well, what people will do is they'll fill a bowl with 2 servings and whatnot, run out 15 days later and wonder what happened. So I highly suggest using little serving things and putting them in your cereal and putting them in your Quaker Oats so that you know what you're able to have that day so it'll last longer. That's very important. People with children, if it hits the fan, and I don't have children, but I do know that children eat like nonstop constantly. And a lot of children do that because they're bored. And this is going to sound really weird, but if you have kids and they're growing and they're eating all the time and they have free access to the fridge and free access to the cupboards, they're going to go in there and eat up your supplies and you're going to run out a lot faster than you would. Anyway, so what I would recommend if that's the case is putting your refrigerator and your food in your bedroom as a parent. I know that sounds weird, but it is going to deter the kids from just going into the fridge and munching on things, because we all know otherwise it's going to happen. Now, I know that a lot of people talk about freeze-dried food and packaged stuff, and I highly recommend these. However, right now, they're in really, really short supply. I didn't see any at Walmart. These will last about 6 to 8 years, and the date is always on them. This one is March of 2028. So that's a ways away. So with these, if you can't find them at Walmart in the sporting goods section, try Big 5, Bass Pro Shops, and don't be too picky about the brand at this point, because if you're looking to stock up for this coming fall, I think maybe we can't be as picky as we usually would when times were good. So might be a good idea. These are delicious. This one's 2 servings, and mashed potatoes and gravy are my favorite of the Mountain House. So I would recommend these. Also, this is just another option for flavored water, dragon fruit energy. This one has caffeine, which is good. So if you're big on caffeine, go for it. So another thing is, a lot of us have powdered milk that has to be, water has to be added. So one thing I'd recommend about rationing is taking your powdered milk and putting it in a jug or a jar. Just make sure you do the calculations in your head based on how much milk you have. Fill this to whatever level, you're comfortable with the whole family drinking it for a day. And whenever you put it in the fridge, you tell your family and make sure that they understand this is all the milk we have for today. You have to make it last. And typically, even with teenagers who are always hungry and stuff like that, they will say, okay, it's kind of like they won't drink as much as they normally would because they know that's all they have for the day, and they have to share with their brothers and sisters, or a single kid sharing with the parents. And that's all we have. If you drink all of it, we don't have any. So they're going to be a little bit less greedy. Okay, folks, so this one's going to be a little tricky. Rocky is right at my feet. And I apologize for the lighting. It's not the best. I wasn't able to get my lighting together, but I do want to go over a few other things. So when it comes to canned meat, where's the meat? Okay, so canned meat, if you can find it, tuna's on sale still. It's still an okay, decent price. Tuna, that's meat. It's protein. The tuna is going to last you till, that sounded about right. Tuna lasts a while, about 2 or 3 years, so it's not too bad. You also have the option of this. Okay, this one's good. Pulled pork. These are Great Value brand, Walmart, and they have several different meats, and these ones are also going to last you about 3 years. So it's semi-long term. It's not just 6 months down the road. It's a couple years. It's a few years. So canned meat is good, but it is expensive. But again, we're kind of at a turning point where we may not have all the options that we had before. You know, oh, and of course, rice and beans. I mean, you guys know rice and beans. Rice and beans are pretty much an indefinite food. You can add oxygen absorbers or whatever, you can just leave them in a bucket. I do recommend with flour. Flour was only going to last you 6 months to a year. So if you want something more long term, look for wheat berries and a manual grinder. If you're able to go that route and you can't find it on any of the sites on my website, like Augustin Farms, Legacy, Mountain House, if you can't find it there, check your local feed store and ask for wheat berries. See if they carry it. I'm going to say there's a 50-50 shot to whether they carry it or not. You can also ask for, if they don't have wheat berries, ask is there what other types of grain do you have that would be fit for human consumption? And you can work with that. Rice and beans, indefinite. Sugar, indefinite. Honey, indefinite. So forever. Let's see here. All right, pasta, pretty much indefinite. Pasta. So make sure you've got all of your, oh, you can't see that. Make sure you've got pastas, soups. The soups are going to last you about a year or two. And I know that all the cans say best by date. And what happens after the best by is they start to kind of taste like the can. Like the longer you wait, the more tinny they become. So just be careful of that. He's not moving an inch. He's just like, no, you're going to have to work around me. Applesauce. Applesauce is a good one. This will last about 2 years. So it's really, it's long-term, but not like 25 years long-term that you would get with freeze-dried food. It's just an option. And I have found things like stuffing mix, very, very filling. How long is this going to last? A year and a half. So flavored stuffing is very, very filling. It's kind of delicious. So a year and a half, that's what you're looking at. Oh, yeah. Single serve macaroni and cheese, a year and a half. I've been, kind of upping my prepping in terms of canned foods and stuff like that. And I'm buying a lot of things I wouldn't usually buy. But it's just for pretty much variety. Ramen. Okay, so a lot of people stock up on ramen and go kind of crazy on it. Whatever ramen's not good for you. So whatever you think about ramen, you can just take it or leave it, but you're looking at only about a year. So a year for ramen. The rice, an alternative to rice, go with rice if you can go with rice. If it's in the store, it's cheap, it's easy, blah, blah, blah. Quinoa, and I'm sure I'm pronouncing it wrong, but quinoa is something that's new to me. It's a lot more it's not expensive, but it's a lot more expensive than rice. But it's got more of a grainy type flavor. Like it tastes more. It's just a richer taste than rice. But it serves the same purpose. So you can use this to extend a meal. It's very, very filling. I think it's delicious personally. In my humble opinion, you've got the beans, and then your corn, your mixed fruit and veggies, green beans, sweet peas, whatever you can find on sale that's like a good price. This giant can of green beans was only it was on sale for like $1.20 or something, and it's 3 pounds, 3 pounds 2 ounces. That's quite a bit, and it looks like canned vegetables are going to go about 2 years. So. And I'm not here to say which prepping method is better because everybody's got different needs. But at this point, if there's not a lot of number 10 cans available. There's not really a lot of buckets or week pails, the pails that are a week's worth of food. I'm not seeing a lot of places that have any of these or very few of these in stock. So yeah, so you're probably going to be going with rices, pastas, beans, and vegetables. And don't neglect fruit. That's one thing I need to go to the store for is fruit, because everybody needs citrus. It's really high in like crazy stuff, vitamins and whatever. So fruit cocktail, just make sure you rinse it off because otherwise it's really sugary. So fruit cocktails, pineapples, you can get pears in cans. What else is there? Cherries, maraschino cherries, they're delicious anyway, right? Single serving applesauces. Pretty much any canned food's going to last you 2 years, but the canned meats are going to last you about 3 years. You know. Oh, and another thing I would recommend is, so if you don't have a fishing license, I recommend getting a fishing license and gear. And if you're looking to stock up your pantry beforehand, before everybody goes crazy and starts hunting and fishing everything into extinction, you might want to take a little bit of time right now to go fishing and stock up your pantry now before everything goes down. If you are a hunter, hey, you know what's going on, the hunting. So here's another option, and this will likely be my option. If you are okay with it, everybody always says, chickens. Chickens are great for eggs. With me, there's a lady here who sells eggs from her backyard chickens for $2, and I would rather pay $2 than pay for chickens. But meat rabbits. I know that's probably gonna hit a lot of people, but during the Great Depression, the UK was on pretty much a meat shortage, and they had some really, really strict rationing going on. So what they did is they sent out sort of like a red alert to their people saying, if you can, please grow meat rabbits. We need your help. We need you to contribute so that, there isn't famine in our country. So meat rabbits, if you just have one boy and one girl, a doe and a buck, they will produce typically, approximately 10 rabbits per litter, up to 3 litters per year, and each meat rabbit is about 5 pounds. So you're looking at 150 pounds of meat per year, and divide that by 12 months, you're looking at over 12 pounds, I can't do the math when I'm filming, 10 to 12 pounds of meat per month. And that can be the difference between starving and not starving. Am I saying to go out and purchase meat rabbits right now? No. What I'm saying is to make the proper preparations for if it comes to that. So fortunately, we have some rabbitries in the area, and I've already contacted with them, and they said, they get a litter every so often, blah, blah, blah. And you can take your pick of the litter, and there's not really an issue with, what's that word, where they mate brother and sister, or sister and father and uncle and cousin. Inbreeding? Incest. Inbreeding. I think it's inbreeding. So the inbreeding in rabbits doesn't really affect the quality of the meat. So if you're able to find a rabbitry and you're only able to get rabbits from one litter, don't really worry about it. So rabbits and fishing are a big one. There's a big deal about protein poisoning, but as long as you have a lot of fats on hand, or you're able to take fat out of your meat as you're cooking it and save it, and then you cook the rabbit with the fat, you should be okay. Not should be. There's a 99.9% chance that you will be okay and you won't get any protein poisoning. So that is my take on the different types of foods that you should be storing. So yeah, flour's only going to last 6 months to a year. When you get flour and rice and sugar, what I would recommend doing is freezing them in the freezer for 3 days, and you'll kill any bugs or bug eggs or hatchlings that are in that food. It's not gross. Bugs are a part of life, and they're going to be in pretty much everything. So if you freeze them, they won't be able to reproduce while you're storing them. I hope that this helps. Do what you can with what you've got. Prepper Princess out. Hey folks, Prepper Princess. So this is a requested video on different food storage that you can have and how long they last. Before we get into the video, I do want to thank all of my faithful Hi, mister. Do you want to be friends? Do you want to be friends, Mr. Rocky Pants? Mommy loves you. Mommy loves you. Mommy loves you. You're such a good boy. You're such a good boy. Who's my doggy? Who's my doggy? Oh. Oh, you always want to hold hands. You always want to hold hands. Do you want to say hi? Do you want to say hi to everybody? No? No hi? How about a kiss? Mwah. I love you, mister. Thank you for entertaining me. You're a very good boy. You're a very, very good boy. Mommy loves you. Yes. And everybody else loves you because you're so good and you're so cute.